All right, let's jump right in. We're not just talking about finding a job for the next few years. We're talking about architecting your wealth, building a career that's not just profitable, but solid enough to weather any storm. This is all about the blueprint for those high-income skills you're going to need to thrive by 2026. So, I've got a question for you, and I want you to be really honest with yourself. Is your career actually ready for 2026? Because let's face it, the pace of change right now is just insane. The skills that were your bread and butter yesterday, they might not even be relevant tomorrow. And here's the tough pill to swallow. The old career playbook, it's totally obsolete. You know, the whole go to school, get a degree, climb the ladder thing, it's broken. It's not just a little outdated. AI, automation, the whole digital economy, they've completely ripped up the rule book. Sticking to that old plan is like trying to navigate a new city with a map from 1950. It's just not going to work.
Okay, so if the old way is out, what's the new game plan? Well, it all comes down to this really powerful idea called skill stacking. And here's the key takeaway. It's not enough to be really good at just one thing anymore. Nope. The real value, the real money, is in how you cleverly combine different skills together.
And that brings us right to this core concept of architecting wealth. I want you to stop thinking of yourself as just a worker or a builder laying one brick after another. No, you're the architect. You're intentionally designing a career that's strong, valuable, and future-proof. And you do that by combining these foundational skill sets, which we're going to call pillars. And this quote just hits the nail on the head, right? The most valuable people in the next decade aren't going to be the laborers. They're going to be the architects. They'll be the ones who design their own value by mixing and matching skills that most people wouldn't think to put together. So, what are these foundational pillars we're building with? It really boils down to two main categories. On one hand, you've got tech fluency, which is basically what you can do with machines. And on the other hand, you have human-centric skills. All the stuff that machines, for now at least, just can't do. And listen, the real magic, where the value truly explodes, is right there in the middle, where these two connect. All right, let's dig into that first pillar, tech fluency. And look, this is way more than just knowing how to use the latest app on your phone. We're talking about a deep, fundamental understanding of the technologies that are literally shaping every single aspect of our world. So what does that actually look like by 2026? Well, we're talking about things like applied AI and machine learning, actually using it to solve real-world problems. We're talking about cybersecurity and data privacy. I mean, that's non-negotiable now, right? Then you've got decentralized systems, think blockchain, which are totally rewriting the rules of trust online. Plus, advanced data analytics and even augmented reality developments, these are creating whole new ways to see and interact with the world. And hey, if you need a little more convincing about why this pillar matters, just look at this number. We're looking at a projected 65% salary growth for people who are skilled in applied AI by 2026. That's not just a small bump, that's a massive wave of economic opportunity. This is what happens when you master the right tools at the right time. But here's the thing, mastering the tools is only half the equation. You can't build a strong structure with just one pillar. So let's talk about pillar 2, the human-centric skills. This is our home turf. This is where we have the ultimate irreplaceable competitive advantage over the machines. So what are these uniquely human skills? Think about it. We're talking about solving those really messy, complex problems that don't have a clear answer. We're talking about true creativity and innovation, coming up with ideas out of thin air, emotional intelligence to lead a team, to inspire people, strategic communication, saying the right thing to the right person at the right time, and maybe the biggest one of all, cognitive flexibility, just being able to adapt and roll with the punches in a world that's always changing. This quote really captures the whole idea perfectly. You can have the most powerful tech in the world, this amazing lever, but without human creativity pushing on it, it's useless. It's just a chunk of metal. The two need each other to actually make anything happen. And this is probably the most important point of all. This isn't about choosing a side. You're not a tech person or a people person. The real power, the true wealth, is built by those who create a bridge between these two pillars. Think about a data scientist who can actually tell a compelling story with their numbers, or a marketing creative who uses AI to brainstorm even wilder ideas. That is who the architect is. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? How do you start building? Let's get really practical and lay out your personal blueprint for success. It all boils down to 3 simple steps. First,
Audit your foundation. Take a good hard look at yourself. Where do you stand right now in both of these pillars? Be honest. Second, identify your keystone. Now, in architecture, the keystone is the one stone at the top that locks the whole arch together. So what is your one skill that would bridge your tech and human sides and just multiply the value of everything you already do? And finally, step 3, lay the first brick. Don't try to build the whole skyscraper tomorrow. What's one small, manageable thing you can do this week to start learning that keystone skill? That's it. Just start.
And that's really the question I want to leave you with. You are the architect of your own future. The blueprint is right here. Your career isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you build, brick by brick. So let me ask you, what's the first brick